client selects a general contractor at the end of February. The design team works with so we'll know like what their hourly rate is. The general contractors, we'll get our bids back, the 28th. No, RFQ responses is the 24th of February. So 24th of February, we'll have at least what these guys are thinking. They'll charge us an hourly rate to do the structure, to do this alternative delivery method, and work with High Plains to do the structural repair and stabilization.
I'm almost thinking that's too late. At what point do we think that lot, the risk of somebody buying those lots becomes great enough for us to wish we had bought them?
Well, everybody I've talked to locally that got to see what went in those lots, they all say, you don't want to build on that. There's junk in there.
Well, see, the only real value to those lots is the value to the developer.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter if it's got crap underneath it. It's like the developer needs that for his plan. So, I'm on the edge on this because after hearing Mike, well, let's see, what do you guys think the likelihood is that somebody's gonna wanna buy those lots and they'll, the whole point is that, it's not that somebody buys it, it's what they're gonna sell it for.
Right, exactly.
How, do you think we should buy the lots or wait?
I think we're in probably the best deal we can get right now. But, you know, the developer come in, if he has to buy them, that's his problem, so.
Well, so I asked John Monarch that, because I've asked Randy that, our two developers. And Randy, you know, his first instinct was against it. Randy, you know, Randy's gonna have to raise the money through grants or whatever. But John is like, well, I have to buy them anyway because I've got to do parking. John would put parking there. Randy would put outdoor space. Randy would put parking along the alley on both of those lots, but he'd create that into a green space.
Yeah.
Randy is not about Main Street, taking up beautiful Main Street lots with.
I kind of agree.
John's I agree with Randy.
Randy was never worried about parking.
No.
No.
It's not an issue, but John would create a drive-through. He's made it very clear. He said if the county doesn't buy those, then I'll buy them as a developer later because I gotta have to do parking, and he would turn that all into parking.
Oh boy.
So
I'd rather not
there
do
would
that.
be no outdoor anything if John does this. So, and I don't want to speak for him, but that's what he said, and he said, and I'd offer him, you know, $50,000 for the 2 lots. So that means the 3rd lot doesn't get utilized. So that's
Well, let's look
That's
at
both
another, let's look at it
developers'
another way.
perspective.
Let's say the budget, we're over budget and we buy these lots and now we're $50,000 more over budget. That's what you're concerned about, right?
mm-hmm. Or even more than that. You know, if the structural comes back and is
Yeah, well,
Is what
well, I'm saying
Shane
$50,000 more
estimated
than
$600,000.
already, however much the structural might push it out.
yes.
But what you gain by buying the lots is you supposedly make the project more attractive for a developer, so you'll get more when you sell the property. I've really got mixed feelings on it, but that's just because I have confidence in my numbers, except that structural repair.
I know.
You know, remember I ran those numbers before and I got 200 and some thousand. Bill said, no, it's closer to 4. But look what happened with our design budget. We thought it would cost a little bit of money, next thing we'll,
I know.
So we just need to be, I don't know, I'm not sure if the structural's gonna cost and throw us over budget, being 50 grand on top of that, I'm not sure how germane that is. I know I'm not expressing that right, but it's like, if you think you're gonna get the value, I think, listening to Mike, I think he's right, somebody's gonna send me by his lots. Cause I know they're gonna develop them, and I can get more money for them.
And then, and on the other side, why in the heck would they buy those lots and pay the $50,000 for them it's gonna be extremely expensive to build on them. So really, all you're buying is just a parking lot.
Yeah, but Mike, they are buying the lots so they can sell them to the developer at a profit.
Yeah.
They're not
and
buying them
boy,
they're not buying them to necessarily to develop them themselves. They're buying them thinking that a developer's gonna want them.
Right, yeah.
And the
Right.
developer said, you know, now this doesn't pencil out because I wanted to do this and I can't do that now because now I gotta pay $100,000 for these lots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think anyone locally is gonna do that. I don't think anyone locally's got an extra $50,000 that they're gonna take this
But
chance
okay,
on this
then
project.
we gotta wait 2 months before we'll have a feel for what the structure's gonna cost, I think. You're gonna have somebody at the end of February, and then before we have any feel for
Mhm.
what they're really, when was the schedule to show that they were done with that? Was it May or
You're
something?
done with the construction?
Yes, construction repair.
Oh, yeah, definitely May, and from what, Emery told us,
Yeah,
it
she
could
said
be
maybe the
further
end of
than that,
September.
it depended on hazmat cleanup, but then when I talked to, Tanya was sick, and so calling her when her first day back from being sick, she was like, there's no way we can get this done in less than 3 months. So she was, when I first started the conversation, because she was coming off of her sick bed, and so that would put us out mid-April before we even start anything. And I said, Tanya, I don't know if you remember, but we have a 6-month roof that expires the guarantee expires the end of May. And she goes, well, I think I can get it done mid-March for y'all. But just let them know, because High Plains is doing a lot of different projects and using Brownsfield funds for cleanup. And she's like, just let them know this process usually takes 3 months, and if I do it in 2 months, they shouldn't expect any of their other projects. You know, this process takes that long. But because I'm able to provide her the documentation that the roof was gonna only last this long, and it's holding up our structural, then she's gonna try and see if she can just list things for 2 weeks instead of 4 weeks.
Well, let's maybe not make a decision on the lots right now, but let's kick it around a little more.
Oh, definitely. We're within that $12,000 figure about whether we can or can't.
Oh, okay.
But we were waiting
Sorry about
for,
That's okay.
It's-
Do they have any other time? Because I didn't get.
we were waiting for Ben to tell us
2:30,
whether
so
we
you
can
can call.
pay it, if there's extenuating circumstances, to pay an amount that exceeds the appraisal, and he's still struggling with that.
Well, and I'm sorry, guys, the extra time that I had this week, I was dedicated
No,
to
you
the
don't have
Riverside.
to
No, there's no
apologize, don't.
excuse.
And I mean, that
No.
opinion's almost done.
No.
Um,
I think we can wait on that.
No, I think it's tremendous.
You put those people in jail, so long as they're not me, you know, that's fine.
No, I
Okay.
mean, I'm just, I was balancing.
Teresa, good
two
discussion,
big
though. I mean,
conflicting-
I could flip a coin.
It's not that important, I don't see where it's at.
Yeah.
Just a
I'm gonna wait a little
reminder,
bit on that.
next Tuesday we'll be getting the RFQs from High Plains, for us to review,
Okay.
for the contractors. And then our meeting with them is Friday, the 31st, at 1:30.
Well, on these RFQs, High Plains is already scheduled, what, like
Next.
6 weeks for that structural repair? Remember when
Yes.
they gave us their initial schedule? That's why I wasn't worried about the cost, but when she said likely to be September, it's like, wait a minute. you know.
Well, if
I know,
if
she's
the
thinking.
hazmat
Yeah.
cleanup pushes everybody back,
Okay, all right, all
yeah.
right.
Okay,
For- I
so
mean,
when is the RFQ thing next Friday?
it's next
No.
Friday. And
Are we
it's still
back-
good.
Did you send out an
Or
invite,
the
right?
commission, I did, and the commissioners are still available 1:30 to 2:30 next.
Yeah, you're on the
I'm
thing.
on, and then,
Okay, so that's what you were talking about.
yes,
Okay.
but we should get them Tuesday by close of business, we should get the RFQs, the RFQ for us to read and approve. That part is gonna be the critical part as far as be sure we didn't miss anything, looking for a contractor for the structural repair. So just wanted to let y'all put that on your radar for next week.
Okay, what you can also do too, Teresa, is when you get those RFQs, I mean, what we do, like we got some bids today. we take them under advisement for a week, for CDBG, for Ben, for everybody to look at, if you wanna do that sometime instead of taking time out of the week for another meeting.
So this is just drafting the RFQ itself before it is advertised.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not the proposals that come from the RFQ.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is just to be sure that we're, just trying to find a contractor.
Okay, we didn't already go out and put them in the.
We did that for the developers. For who's
Okay.
gonna buy the building.
Okay.
This is 3D chess.
Holy moly, I
There's
don't know how to play chess.
There's a lot of balls
so-
that are up in the air.
All right,
Yeah,
well, I'm
it's a lot.
confused and you'll keep me in check.
I
We're
really
all
don't have a
confused.
good, strong feeling one way or the other about what I'm buying these lots. So we'll see.
Okay, well, I need to move on, extending the deadline on the RFQ if we're gonna do that, so.
Okay, all right, well, we'll kick it around, it's just weighing all these unknowns as we.
You're saying you're gonna have to extend the RFQ if we don't make a determination?
Or if we
decision
don't
on the
buy the
lots?
lots.
Well, either way, our RFQ deadline is the 21st for developers to get their proposals in of February. And so we need to just decide whether we're gonna push that timeline out, which I think we need to.
Well, yeah, Randy requested it, but I can see us pushing it out a month or so, or, but just to get, he wanted us to push it out till May or something,
Yeah,
so that he could definitively have high confidence of all his funding sources. And that's not a crazy thing to ask, but, let's say, so, well, I haven't heard from such and such, or I haven't heard, I just don't wanna get a pattern of drifting this thing out. To
no, I
appease
don't
him.
either, but if it gives us more confidence and then it allows us, so the two things we'd amend the RFQ is to change the timeline that they're due, that the proposals are due, and we'd add the vacant lots. And so pushing that timeline out would give us more time to decide on the vacant lots.
Well, I think, I don't have a problem pushing it out, I really don't. Because it buys us it improves our ability to get better responses.
Are both of you guys okay with that? Cause that may be what I need to take some action on that, I think, this week.
Probably.
So like, I'll give them an extra month? 4 to 6 weeks?
I don't see why not. Honestly, don't.
I don't either. We wanted it in sooner because they were gonna help us with asbestos, but now we've contracted with High Plains to do that, so I just feel like, I think give them more time and maybe,
Randy kinda had a compelling argument, it sounds like if you don't give him more time, he won't be able to put an RFQ, a response together.
and I haven't heard from John that if has the time to do it. He says he's gonna put a proposal in, but I haven't heard if he needed more time, cause he hasn't been available. But, okay, if y'all are okay with that, that's really my big thing I need.
Do you wanna call in later?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
If they're good with me changing timelines,
okay, all right.
I'm sorry I went over.
No, it's okay, you got,
Y'all have a
you
good
got,
weekend.
you got shorted,
So,
so they're out there.
All the guys?
Yep,
all right, you mentioned 3 things.
Okay, children.
yeah.
First one, pay more for the appraised value for vacant lots. And then you said 2 more things, but you were talking too fast and I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with any of this discussion. It's really very beneficial and very helpful.
Good morning,
Good morning.
everybody.
Gentlemen,
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
You're Cindy?
Yes, I'm Cindy.
I'm Bonnie, their secretary.
Greenish. I'm an old
Okay, great.
rat for his kids, so I think that these little notebooks, so they how the old cowboys used to have their,
Oh, yeah. They had to have their,
had to have their little notebook,
I take notes all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a brochure? That's just something, we'll leave it to you. You're not short of reading material, I'm sure.
They're a little cooler than it is in Billings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I live in Northern Properties, so
Okay.
you get up here in the north,
So you need to know about the vacant lots.
The wind was
And
blowing
Lewistown,
the
they were
last couple
worse.
days.
Oh, yeah.
Billings is subtropical.
What's that?
Billings is known as the subtropical area.
Well, I live in Hardin, we've been getting the snow.
And you've been getting it too. Billings, Hardin is always cooler, in the winter, and then hotter in the summer.
And hotter in the summer, I know, fire.
Did you get lots and lots of snow? Because like Lewistown was
Oh,
closed
no,
down.
no.
That's crazy.
I tell people that when you get north of the Missouri River and kind of dividing
Oh
line,
boy,
I says, that's when it gets cold. It's real winter up there.
oh boy, yeah.
You know what, ours isn't so much snow as ice, we've had worse, in fact, this morning, yesterday morning, it was just ice on the interstate.
Good to see
Hey,
you.
how are
again.
ya?
Good to see you.
How are you? I'm Cindy Maxwell, I work with Greg.
Nice to meet you, Cindy. Greg came in and talked to me about just a few weeks ago, right? Or how long was it?
Yeah, it's been a couple, 3 weeks ago.
It was while I was gone, because I wasn't here. I was on vacation.
Yeah, we had beautiful weather and then January
I don't think it's
hit.
gonna be
my
pretty
God.
simple. I don't think it's gonna be an
The
hour.
winter usually gets there sooner or later, so.
Yeah, really.
Here's my initial.
So I guess we'll get started.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't wanna take up a lot of your time.
Their next meeting is 11 o'clock.
Oh, we could do it.
Well, we'll have you out of here
So if
by-
you have a
by then.
PowerPoint presentation,
No, I'm not much into them PowerPoint things.
Just so you know that.
But,
The problem is I think we're.
I guess why we're here is we represent, Cindy and I both work together, we represent Joint Powers Trust of Billings. And we're a health benefits trust. We're governed by a board of trustees, we have school superintendents, county clerks, and county commissioners on our board. So it's pretty diversified in that respect. We're local, and we would just very much like to have an opportunity to be able to present what we might be able to do for
I
you.
mean, that's my take on
As
it
far as
personally,
that's
and I'm
concerned.
okay with
We're
disagreeing.
pretty old
That's the
school,
point.
user-friendly, real user-friendly, so.
You're looking out half of the
And we
employees.
can go back
Yes.
and pay somebody else.
I mean, our admin costs
Yeah, we're
are
half.
low. There's Cindy and I, and Shane, our director, and then we have a half-time person in the village office of associated employers, so.
so how long have you guys been in business?
88.
Okay, has it been around?
Since 88 or 88 years?
Oh,
Since-
sorry, since 88.
Okay.
Well, actually, Vernon Peterson was the county commissioner in Fergus County, and he started it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So he's the one who put it together.
You managed to stay in business for a few years, it sounds like.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's been a good business. I actually was a clerk and recorder in Dickinson County for 28 years.
All right, thanks, man.
And decided to get out of government, jumped into the middle of health benefits and decided, I don't know if that's getting out of government or not. But, this has been a good move. It's a good product.
We're very fortunate. I used to work for Montana Unified School Trust and helped get NACO going. And I can remember writing this district. That was a while ago. And, but we are very fortunate to, I've only been with Joint Powers Trust about 5 years, but we're very fortunate. We've got a director that is outstanding. The guy is just super smart and understands the industry, he's been in the industry for a long time. So that's kind of a big morning.
Good morning.
That's
This
kind
is
of a
our
plus.
county attorney.
Greg Disney.
Greg, it's nice to meet you. My name's Ben Krakoka.
Okay.
Cindy Maxwell.
Cindy, it's nice to meet you. Ben
Yeah.
Krakoka.
So, if you, would want, if we were, had the opportunity to quote you, a few things that we would need, probably you'd be,
Well, I can start it, but
You
I'm
can
I'm just
start
their
it.
secretary. She's the clerk and recorder.
Cheryl.
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 Yeah.
For years.
So, the things that we need is we need a census with, birth date and another, copy of your latest bill and a copy of your plans, and that's it. That's all we need to quote, so.
No, let's repeat that list. You need, what's the first one?
A census,
Census, I thought you said assesses, and I'm like, I don't know.
census,
Census, meaning how many employees we have,
how many employees you have,
demographics, or,
demographic,
Are the
Age.
employees?
what's that?
Are the employees?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
that you would be insuring.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, so here's
and
roughly,
they, right, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so it was that, how many, the census, how many, their birth dates, what else?
Your current bill,
current bill, what are we paying
Per plan.
per plan?
and then how many what type of plans you
Now,
What
now,
plan?
now, let me ask you about that second one. What are we paying per plan? Is that, what if we didn't give you that?
Well, the reason that we require that, and most insurers would require that, is we need, the actuaries look at, okay, has this plan gone up over this plan? In other words,
Well, the only reason I'm hesitant to do that is because that feels a little bit like bid shopping. It feels a little bit like,
oh,
I'm gonna come and give you a price now that I know what you're already paying.
But it also shows you too, so like if you have an employee that has a wife and kids, it would show up on there. Where your census is only gonna show, you know,
Yeah, but you get my point. If we tell you what we're paying, we're giving you what the competition is charging. And I'm not sure they'd be happy with that, unless I'm out of line here, guys.
No, and I have to kind of agree with you. However, we might wanna talk, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's
Let's
talk
talk
about,
about it.
please don't see that doesn't mean I'm not interested, okay?
Yeah.
I'm very interested. But I'm not
this
sure.
question does come up once in a while, you know? I mean, I think that we're a pretty stand-up company.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, no, that's not the concern.
The concern
Maybe-
isn't about you, it's like, how would I feel if I was Mako and said.
Maybe you guys give us, do you have another county that you cover?
Yeah.
Phillips County's one of ours, of course, they do a composite, so that's probably not comparable to you guys.
So what I'm saying is maybe they can give us
What they're.
their comparable, their prices, and we can compare with
We can
what
get it.
you
We can
do
get
and
it.
what we do.
We can get a
Yeah.
And
testimonial.
you don't have to say what county or whatever, who, you know, anything like that, just give us the general, this is what these people get.
Well, when we bring a client on, it's, we rate you on the risk of the group,
Yeah.
so.
You have to know that, I know. I
Yeah,
can
between you
see-
guys and say
Yeah.
Fergus County or Petroleum County,
It could be night and day.
it could be night and day.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
After you're in the pool, then what we do is we pool all the claims over $30,000. So we kind of blend the claims across the trust. So we have no super highs and lows,
Right.
and makes it a little bit fair for everybody.
What was the third thing you needed? So you needed that, and what was the third thing?
And the plan design.
What do you want for plans?
What its coverage?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes, sir, yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah, so that's about all we really,
To start,
Mhm.
yeah. And then once we got you a quote, then we would come and present that again, and if you had some more questions, then we could certainly address them at
That's excellent.
okay?
Yeah, and you know, I guess when you came in and talked to me, you know, you get set in your ways, so we've been buying insurance and whatnot.
that time.
As long as we're comfortable that it's not gonna be, sacrificing quality and coverage,
Mhm.
you know, it really makes sense for us to look at this, seriously. So we are gonna look at it seriously. I just don't know if I'm comfortable giving you what, I've gotta kick that around a little more with these guys.
So, that's fine.
Yeah, also if I can think of some other things, you know, that could help ease your mind on that.
See, in the construction business, that's where I'm from, that's a no-no.
Okay.
Because that once you start, once you start telling, somebody this, and you probably weren't aware of this, but say you got two contractors.
Yeah.
We used to bid as a subcontractor to contractors. And let's say we bid a mechanical job at $1 million. And the contractor tells their friend, Pancratz is at $1 million. They say, we're $950,000. I'll no longer bid to that general contractor.
That's why you have sealed bids. And
Yeah.
So the difference here you're dealing with, though, Commissioner Pancratz, is the insurance information that we have as a part of this county is public record.
Okay.
And subject to FOIA requests. And so, I mean, we,
Okay, good-
if they
good
ask
point.
for it, we have to give it to them.
No, that's an excellent point.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's an excellent point, but I'm just thinking,
This is me chipping in with my words of wisdom from the corner for today.
I don't wanna burn a bridge with Mako, is what
I
I'm
understand.
heading. I
well,
wanna be fair.
then what we could do is, not that it would make a difference, is get their quote, show it to Mako.
Yeah, look what we.
It can go both ways, really.
Right, okay.
So,
No, and that's probably, but then they might not like us doing that. Here, we gave you an honest, bona fide
If they
bid,
give us a quote, it's,
and now you're going and you're
Public
not.
document.
but then also, then we can have Pam say, well, but this quote would have to say exactly what you guys are covering, right? Then Pam can go over, well, we cover this, or,
That's
oh, we
always-
don't
Yeah.
cover, you know.
Unless we
Oh,
were in a
okay, so it
sealed-
sounds like,
sealed bid or
my
something.
concern about this big shopping that I called it is not appropriate in a public entity, is that what I'm hearing?
unless we're doing sealed bids where they're both submitting the bids at the same time.
Like today.
Why wouldn't we do that?
Well,
It's a,
We get a better price. I know if we don't do that, we'll get a better price. But it may not be fair.
I don't know what our contract with Mako says. How much longer does it go? Does it expire this year?
It's renewed every year, right?
It's renewed every year.
And then when do we normally review it?
It's coming out, I think she's coming February 21st.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, we don't do it
We
until,
don't at the end of the year.
we don't do it until like May or whatever, but she's
Yeah.
coming to talk to us about it February 21st.
But I believe their trust document says you have to notify them by
Okay.
April 1st or
Yeah,
March
yeah.
1st that you're,
I think that's why she's coming in February, that we have to notify them so many days in advance of the,
I think by law, you have to, if you're signing up again, you have to do it before 60 days, to give the company time to.
that's,
I'd have to look at the contract or the agreement to know for sure.
I'll send it to you, Ben.
Well, but you need to know scope for apples to apples. I don't know.
and
My instincts tell me to pit you against them and them against you so that we get a better price.
No, not a better price, just what they're, well, yeah, we'll get not that they're gonna change their price.
Yeah, they would. Let's say
No.
that they give us, well, then that's no different than sealed
It's value
bids.
for what we're paying for.
I mean, we'd give them the information, yeah, they'll probably have a better thing, but then we can go to Mako, and
When we,
I don't know, I don't know.
Is it fairer to get sealed bids from both of them? That's what I'm
if we give you a quote and Mako comes in and says, hey, we can beat that quote by 10%, don't come to us.
no, it's not.
Yeah, but that's not-
It's a done deal.
That's not fair to you, though. I mean, you gave us a bona fide quote in good faith, and now they have the benefit of knowing what that is. They weren't gonna offer us a 10% discount until you get my point?
Yeah,
But-
We just don't.
We
No,
don't-
it didn't work that way.
We don't work that way. Our
Well, and I'm not saying
bylaws.
they do either. I'm
Yeah.
not saying, I just think all of that gets eliminated if you get sealed bids. But you have to do an RFP that outlines your
Yeah.
scope.
And that requires a lot of
Expertise.
extra work and a lot
Yeah.
of extra costs to do a full-blown RFP.
something that seems so easy,
I know.
you know?
Well, I don't
Nothing's easy.
wanna make this any more complicated than it needs to, because we really do wanna give you a fair shot at the business. We really do.
Too many people look at it.
Well,
I
what
mean,
we
the
do,
public
when you
review.
get your plan documents, it goes
Yeah.
to our our
Actuary.
actuary, and he builds our document for you. And it well, I hate to say mirrors, cause there could be something that we provide more benefits on,